keep you in contact with the community, you can do so in the lobby. Use the QR code or go online and register yourself, sign up for the newsletter there. And we are streaming, I think, live. We are streaming live this morning. Looks like we have some technical fun back there. But we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and then this recording gets posted up to our website and onto Facebook for you and YouTube for you to look at later if you would like. And there's a whole library on our website that you can look at of past talks from Reverend Lee and myself and other guests. And you can also follow us on Instagram. We have an Instagram account. And today is the final day to sign up for Self Mastery. So if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, today's the day. I've got to send your workbooks out to those who have already registered. So Self-Mastery, Emergence of the True Self, starts this Thursday, June 20th, runs through August 22nd, 6 to 8:30 in person. We'll also have it on Zoom for anyone that's joining us remotely. We provide that service. And this class is designed to take a closer look at your relationships, your sense of self-esteem, change, aging, and death as they relate to your whole self. You'll gain a greater insight into your true nature as you unveil and begin to heal anything that may be getting in the way of your own personal self-mastery. 245 includes an electronic copy of the workbook, requires the Science of Mind text, Living the Science of Mind, which are available in the bookstore. You can pay in full, pay over time, however you would like to do. Hope to see you Thursday. And we have a wonderful community here at Scottsdale CSL. We're growing and expanding. We love welcoming new first-time guests. And we have a mission, vision, and purpose. And I invite you to help me speak it into service now. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and communities transformation. Our vision is a world that works for everyone. Our purpose is to awaken to our spiritual magnificence. And in our good news department this morning, British telecom giant BT, is converting curbside cable boxes into charging stations for electric cars, helping Great Britain to accelerate its transition to electric vehicles. Many of BT's existing curbside cabinets are becoming obsolete due to people moving to wireless telephone and cable provision. But the lines that provide electricity to those boxes should be able to fully charge an electric vehicle in 6 to 8 hours. The street cabinets currently deliver sufficient power, which means no additional power lines need to be laid for charging stations and no digging up of existing cabinet infrastructure needs to be done. They've already done one conversion in Scotland. It seems to be working. And the BT Group plans to repurpose 600 of their 60,000 existing boxes across the United Kingdom by the end of this year. So 600 by the end of this year and only 59,400 more. Yes, that's the number. So they're making a dent, right? 1%. So repurposing is good, right? Recycle, repurpose. And with that, I'm going to invite Mr. Daniel, our practitioner today, to come forward with our invocation.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, I have some good news. See this?
Yay.
I won a lottery twice. I got calls, one from Google. They sent it out to everybody that had a Gmail account, and I won, and that was 5.5 million, 10,000 a month, and a new Mercedes. And trust me, within a couple hours, I got another call that I'd won 6.5 million, same 10,000 a month, so we doubled up there. But I didn't get a Mercedes; I got a Tahoe. And all I needed to do is go down to CVC and get some gift cards, and read it out so that they could pay for the fees and the taxes and all that stuff. That's all I had to do. So I'm waiting. So that's. How much is that? That's a lot, like a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, anyway, all kidding aside, if you know anybody that's susceptible for that, tell them ixnay on the gift cards. If somebody's asking that you got to have gift cards in order to win at something, tell them no, it doesn't work that way. So Tell them not to fall for that one. I almost did. Got really excited. So, prayer request. I'll be back here after service for a prayer if someone would like to participate in that. If you'd like to write something down, there's a prayer box back there. We'll take that home and share it between the two reverends and myself for a whole week. You can write in, call in, a variety of ways to get prayer service. Okay, so please take advantage of that. And I have a quote today. He who would learn to fly one day must first learn to stand and walk and run and climb and dance. One cannot fly into flying. And that's Friedrich Nietzsche. And if you know what that means, please come and see me afterwards and explain that to me. So I appreciate that. So let's take that joy and laughter and go into prayer for a moment, okay? As we connect with this spiritual presence, this one life, this one creative life force that we know as God, a spirit, a variety of different things. But what's important is that we know that we are all connected to this source, this one life, this one giving presence is all pervasive, which means we have nothing to do but open our heart to receive the joy, the abundance, the divine health, divine knowledge, divine right action. All the love available in the entire universe is at our disposal. All those things are connected with us as they run through us. And it's with a sense of gratitude, of joy, that I speak this word on behalf of all of us within the sound of my voice. And I give thanks and gratitude for this community. We are vibrant, full of love, full of financial resources. I give thanks for the talk today by Reverend Lee, knowing that it is exactly what we need right here, right now, and will be perfectly received by everyone. I give thanks to our volunteers, our board of directors, our ministers, our practitioners, everybody that comes together that supports and grows this community and spreads our message throughout the world. And as we send our love out to every corner of this world, knowing that whatever needs to be healed is healed. Whatever needs to be loved, we sprinkle and drop love on them and know that we are connected. And everyone on this journey is welcome in our belief system, that there are many paths to the one. And we joyously, lovingly walk with each and every person on that path, knowing there are so many different ways to get to the one, but knowing that that one loving presence is all pervasive and is ours right here, right now, running through us. I am so filled with joy and happiness to be able to speak that word on behalf of all of us. So, knowing that that is the truth, I simply give this treatment away into that presence, into that law, that spiritual law that always says yes without any qualifications, knowing that that is the truth for all of us. And I affirm that, and I invite everyone to affirm it together by saying, and so it is.
You are blessed. You are a blessing. 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 You are a blessing. You are a blessing.
Good morning. Okay, I'll be doing the announcements this morning, and on a Yogi tea bag it said, "Give thanks for unknown blessings that are already on the way." Would anyone like to share a brief gratitude today? Well, I will. I am grateful for my father who passed away, made his transition a few years ago, but he was a railroad trainman. He worked 7 days a week to support our family. And he always passed on a lot of wonderful little anecdotes. He came to the United States from Finland when he was 19 and learned the language, and he was just so proud to be an American. So I miss him, and I'm thankful for him. Anyone else? Okay. So June is Bring a Friend Month, and many of us were introduced to Science of Mind through our friends, and June is our opportunity to pay it forward and invite friends and family to experience Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. So plan to stay after service every Sunday this month, as we'll be hosting fellowship time after the service to meet with new friends. Okay. And today we have free cookies, coffee, and conversation, plus some iced tea to hang out and talk and meet our friends and connect with each other. Right? Okay. And this is really kind of exciting. Not that everything isn't, but this is particularly. Join Reverend Jill and Science of Mind Friends of the Arts for our first event on August 16th this year. We're going to the Don Bluth Theater in Scottsdale for the production of Neil Simon's play, God's Favorite. We'll meet at the Canton Dragon Asian Grill, 90th Street and Shea for dinner before the show, and then enjoy an intimate local theater production of one of Neil Simon's funniest spiritual comedies. Dinner's at 5:15, show is at 7. Tickets are $30 paid with sign up, and dinner is self-pay. Sign up and buy your tickets today for group rate. Ticket sales close June 23rd. And Bob and I have been to several of the performances of Don Bluth, and it's a small, intimate theater, and it's just so much fun. So I hope you'll all be able to come. And on June 23rd, we'll host a Bring a Friend bingo party as your board of trustees hosts this very grateful gathering. And Valerie is going to tell us a little bit more about it. Hey.
Thank you and good morning. I wanted to come back to my gratitude. I also am very grateful for my father, who raised 5 kids on his own. He worked at Chrysler Corporation in Ravenna, Ohio, and he passed, and I miss him too. So here's to all the great fathers in the world here and throughout. So that's that. So bingo. 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 Bingo was his name. Oh, we have bingo next Sunday, and we have wonderful prizes. It's only $30. This includes lunch and multiple games. So we're hoping for everyone to join us and sign up. We have some nice gifts, as I mentioned, or prizes. So we look forward to this as a wonderful fundraiser for our community. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next Sunday.
Okay. And then save the date for June 30th as Brunch Bunch returns. We'll meet at Payway Asian Diner after service to share food, fun, and fellowship. And after Reverend Lee's talk this morning, we'll open the mic so that for your questions or comments about the sermon. And we have a little pad and pencils in the lobby, so if you want to jot down any questions you might have. And we love music at Scottsdale CSL. And today we welcome Rascal Flatts with My Wish for You.
Okay. Good morning. Happy Father's Day to all the dads, granddads, great granddads, all of them, everybody. This morning, continuing our talks about service. First week of the month, I talked about how we can be in service to each other. And last week, Reverend Joe talked about how we can be in service to our spiritual community. Today, we're going to go into a much larger scope. How are we in service? Or how can we be in service? How can we show up in service to our larger global family? How do we do that? I know for myself, when I start thinking and looking at the bigger picture, I can feel sometimes pretty small. And in the same breath, I know because of what we teach here, what we believe here to be true, that we are all connected, and that even though I may feel separate, I may appear to be separate, I am inherently, spiritually, energetically connected to each and every one of you here and to everybody around the world and beyond. There are larger things going on here. Larger things going on here. I have something I want to read. Something I came across just this morning. Ernest Holmes writes this. Ernest Holmes, the founder, for those who don't know, the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living. And he writes, everything that lives proclaims the glory of God. Every person who exists manifests the life of God. There is one spirit in which we live, one mind by which we think, one body of which we are a part, and one light that lighteth every man's pathway. He goes on to write, we are part of the evolution of human destiny. We are part of the unfoldment of the divine intelligence in human affairs. It has reached the point of conscious and deliberate cooperation with that principle of evolution and outpush of the creative urge of the spirit, on this planet at least, to bring about innumerable centers which it may enjoy. Also, we may enjoy it through that divine interior awareness, which is the intercommunication of the divine with humankind, revealing our own divine nature. Wow. There's something larger going on for all of us, all the time. Moment to moment, with every breath, every thought, every idea, every time we grow, every time we think, every time we move, every time we get a little clearer about who and what we are and what our relationship is with this thing we call life, we not only are helping ourselves and improving our own lives, but we are making the way easier for those who would come behind us, or for those who are walking alongside of us, or for those who are walking ahead of us. We are making it easier for the collective to see very clearly how wonderful this world can be. It is very easy. Let me rephrase it. It is very easy for me sometimes, and I'm not going to put this on anybody else. It's very easy for me sometimes to get lazy in my thinking. When something doesn't quite go according to plan, to get real pissy and real upset and really self-effacing, beat up on me a little bit, or beat up on the world a little bit because they did it to me. Or they just don't know. They just don't know. Anybody else have conversations like that? Anybody? Yeah, we all, it happens, right? It's very easy to dive into those places because the world tells us it's okay. The news tells us it's okay to complain. That's kind of, that's why we do the good news thing here on Sunday mornings, because it's very, you got to go looking for good news on the internet, even on the internet. You got to go looking for it. You got to dig it up. Reverend Jill and I know where to find it. We can tell you where it is. But we don't even have to think, because we get fed. If your notifications are turned on your phone to some news app or something, they'll feed you bad news all day long if you let them. But the good news is we don't have to let them. We don't have to let them. Ernest Holmes writes in the Sermon by the Sea, find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is, the science of mind, and use it and live it as it is, and I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth here. There's a cosmic power wrapped up in a cosmic consciousness and purposes. I had to practice this word, purposiveness, that is equal to the vision which looses it. Find me 1,000 people. He only wanted 1,000 people. Just 1,000. In the Sermon by the Sea, this talk was given at the Asilomar Conference Center the summer prior to his passing. The following April, I believe it was. If we can come together to a point where we awaken just a little bit more today, and then a little bit more beyond that tomorrow, and a little bit more tomorrow beyond that, to just clean the window through which we view the world, to do something for ourselves, to clean up our consciousness, to clean up our thinking, to clean up our believing. That is one way by which we can serve the larger human family. And do not think that's limited to just kind of the people you come in physical contact with, people you share space with on a day in, day out basis. There is a much grander scheme by which this operates. It goes out around the world because at a level of consciousness, there is no time and space, there is no separation, because it's all connected. We're all connected. We feel the energy passing between us. I saw a little something, I saw something like an ad or a trailer or something last night for a documentary, and said, we share molecules with every person, place, and thing we come in contact with each and every day. They pass between us. At that physical level, we exchange some part of ourselves with everybody we touch at a physical level, let alone a spiritual level. At the level of consciousness, we are so connected that every time we shift and change, the whole entirety of humanity changes as well. Imagine that. And so we ask how we can be in service to humanity. Just keep growing. Keep learning. Keep doing what we can do to become just a little bit happier. Divine life is forever seeking its expression through each and every one of us every day. It wants to be expressed. Ernest Holmes writes in his definition of love in the glossary of the Science of Mind textbook, he says, love is the desire of spirit to express itself in terms of creativity. Wow. Can I love a little bit more? Can I smile a little bit more? Can I be a little bit more grateful? More thankful? It's not to say we don't have sad times. We have sad times and we allow those. We get upset. We get into a sense of discordant expression. We get upset. And we don't have to stay there. We can choose to move through it. We can choose to rise above it. We can choose to have those feelings and then say, okay, and what's next? What's the next thing for me? How do I learn from this and then move on? Can I take the lesson from this mistake and learn and move forward? Marianne Williamson writes this. She says, personal transformation can and does have global effects. As we go, so goes the world, for the world is us. The revolution that will save the world is ultimately a personal one. The revolution that will save the world is ultimately a personal one. So, what's revolutionary? What would be a revolutionary, evolutionary shift in thinking for us, for you? For me, as I sit here and ask myself that question right here in this moment, it would be to say, you know what? The world is as I would have it be, because I get to choose. I get to choose ultimately how I respond to the events of my life. Right? Now, I can look at the events of my life and say, okay, I've got a surgery coming up in the middle of July, and I can look at that and say, you know what? I have to take 8 weeks off work, and I can look at the downside and say, how am I going to make up that income and all these things? I can get all worried and fret about it and all that stuff and say, dang it, I got to, I could spin all kinds of ugly stories about how that's going to go. I can make that choice. Or I can look at it and say, you know what? I got some time off. I can use some time off. And there's going to be this, that, and the other. I'm going to have to play it maybe a little, fiscally conservative, be a little more frugal. Or I can say, this is an opportunity. I can't go and do my day job, but I can refocus and say, what can I do to expand? What can I do to learn and grow? What can I do to be a little creative and maybe create a little income on the side from home? What can I do with Zoom? What can I do on the internet? What can I do here, there, and whatever? Maybe I just open myself up to possibilities rather than looking at the downside and saying, now this is going to suck, right? I get to choose. And trust me, I've in the middle of the night, in the dark, in the quiet, sometimes when I wake up, the community kicks in and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I wake up and I go, no, you know what? We're going to get creative. We're going to open up the possibilities, because up until now, maybe my tendency would have been to just worry and fret without saying, there's a possibility here. There's an opportunity here. What is the opportunity here? I may not be conscious and aware of it right now, but you know what? I can open to something new. And so I break the cycle. I break not only my own cycle, I break not only my own cycle, but I also open a space maybe for somebody else. Maybe my opening to opportunity creates an opportunity for somebody else. Maybe my opening to opportunity creates an opportunity for collaboration with myself and somebody else, or maybe somebody else sees what I do and they say, look what he did. Maybe I can do that too. Because taking the position, like you've heard me say any number of times before, taking the position of, when addressing limitation, taking the position of up until now, this has been true, or up until now, this may have been my experience, and then shifting from there and saying, and what's possible? Up until now, I have bought into the limitation of having to take time off work. The opportunity is I have increased amount of free time. How can I get creative with that? What's possible here? Rather than buying into fear, how can I choose love? Rather than buying into a sense of lack, how do I choose prosperity and abundance? Rather than buying into some sense of physical limitation, how can I open up to a greater level of health and wellness? Rather than buying into the idea that the world is a horrible, ugly, awful place filled with conflict and chaos and any number of opportunities for growth, how can I shift out of that space of limitation into a space of opportunity, saying, how can I hold a larger vision for the world, not just my life, but for the world, that says this is a safe, secure, and loving space? How do I do that? I choose. I choose to say that I hold a larger vision for this world in which I live that says peace is possible. Love is a reality, because back of everything that appears is a divine idea that says this is a wonderful, creative, joyful, loving place. Gene Houston writes somewhere, I don't know where the source of this, I'd love to give credit, but it's Gene Houston, one of my favorite teachers. We all have the extraordinary coded within us, waiting to be released. Wow. Extraordinary. We all have the extraordinary coded within us, waiting to be released. How will you choose to be extraordinary today? Because we get to do that. How many have-tos in your world can I shift to a choose to or a get to? How many have-tos can I shift to be a get to? See, I loved what Michael Beckwith, I love that reading this morning. Michael Beckwith talked about I having to go to work, shifting that I have to go to work to I get to go serve. That was just like, that's the one line in that whole thing that stayed with me. I get to go serve. Sure, I have a job, I have an employer, they pay me to show up and da 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 da. And I get to go serve. I get to go be in service to my employer, to the clients, to the customers, to whoever shows up. I get to go serve. What an opportunity we have. What if 1,000 of us decided to go serve tomorrow rather than just show up to work and do the job? Wow. See? It's those little shifts in perspective, those little shifts in the way we approach things, stacked upon one, upon the other, upon the other, upon the other, upon the other. As we stack those things one upon the other, we begin building bridges. We begin building new homes. We begin building a new world that we get to live in. The little shift, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. That is how the world is transformed. That is how we show up in service to the human family. We decide to let go of the way things have always been just because they've always been that way. They don't have to continue to. Some of them are good. But if they're not serving anymore, we get to let them go and choose something differently. We get to embrace this idea of up until now and follow it up with what's possible here. What's possible in this moment that maybe I haven't thought of before. And so that is the practice of the principle I would invite you to embrace this week. Is to say, what, you know what? It doesn't always have to be like this. Just because it's always been this way doesn't mean it has to continue. So we get to embrace the new vision of what's possible. We embrace the practice of up until now, whatever, fill in the blank. And follow that up with what's possible here. What's possible here? What do I get to choose? What do I get to embrace? And maybe I don't have an answer in just this moment, but maybe I just take some time to be still and quiet and listen for what may show up. Because it may be somebody that walks up and shares an idea with you, and maybe it's a billboard you see alongside of the road that triggers an idea. A song comes on the radio, or a song pops up on the Spotify DJ thing. I added, I don't know, half a dozen songs to my favorites list yesterday afternoon driving down the highway. It was awesome. So what's possible? So we serve the human family by opening ourselves up to new ways of being, new possibilities. So now it's your turn this morning to share any thoughts, comments, ideas on growing the human family. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jim. So what came to mind for me is that the notion that it's amazing how life has opened up, has changed, how other people have changed once I began to change. And that's what I got out of today's talk, is that to remind me that everything changes when we change.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And this is not a question, but an observation too. The very idea of this community is love in action, because I, I jokingly was talking about summer here. This is my 5th summer as a California girl here. And I just feel sometimes like I lose myself because everybody's gone. Nobody's outdoors. And then I always remember who I am. I mean, the teachings of this community are a major part of my life, and my belief in them and their realness matters to me. So one of the reasons that I'm excited about the course we're taking, because I'll get out of the house and out of my summers missing me. But anyway, I love the opportunity that this community offers us. It's fabulous.
Oh,
I was talking with my mentor recently about difficulty I'm having in a relationship, and she said something that really hit me. It's still hitting me, related to what you're talking about today, which was, is this the end? Or is this just the limit or the utmost, whatever she said, of your discomfort, which could be the beginning?
okay.
That was a good one. I was thinking also that we tend to project into the future what we think is going to happen. And what I found after all these decades is the fact that if you live in the now, what you think is going to happen is not necessarily true. And everything is an opportunity for you to grow. So when you're expecting something to happen, you're looking at it with fear because it's not something you really planned. And so if you leave yourself open to what could possibly happen about this, that's what I have found works best, is just to live in the now. Today, this moment, here I am, perfectly fine. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm just going to suppose it's going to be great. That's it.
There we go.
Anybody else?
And there you have it, Victoria. My thought, and thank you, Reverend Lee, is that this teaching has brought peace into my life, and the knowing of what peace is, right? So what really resonates in my daily treatment and prayers is world peace. When we're talking, let's get it larger and bigger, bringing in world peace. Russia guy, you gotta snap out of it, and we want world peace here. So that really resonates with me, and thank you for that.
Right. Thank you.
I have a confession to make and a commitment that I want you to help me support. I'm excited to be signed up for the class and starting that this week. In kind of a preview of that, I pulled out my old dusty copy of Living the Science of Mind, and have been scrolling through it. And it really just hit me. You know, it's the whole idea of the computer programming, garbage in, garbage out. I confess that I am a habitual doom scroller on the internet. I'm always on the news, and it's not good enough just to read one place, but I have to go compare how CNN presents it with the Washington Post, with Fox News and Breitbart, and see what the MAGA people are doing. This is not an opportunity for success. I've also started dabbling again in Facebook, which is a dangerous territory for me as far as just being a time suck. So this morning I got up and I tried it different. I sat down and I started reading and Living the Science of Mind, and it's fascinating to me, the idea of the consciousness of the race consciousness, as Holmes addresses it. And thank you for addressing that today. Do I believe that if I change my mind, I can change the world? My mind says yes, my heart is getting there. So I'm excited to be embarking upon further study this week. Thank you for your talk today.
All right. Thank you, Jim. All right. We're going to wrap it up. Let's pray. And we begin with recognizing that there is only one, that this one is divine life and love and truth, peace, power, beauty, and joy. It is all of this and so much more. It is limitless love and peace, everywhere present. It is in, through, around, and as, expressing as each and every one of us, in this and in every moment. And we know that this is true of us. It is true of each and every individual. Each and every individual in this world, a point of light, a point of love within the heart of God. That everything we see, touch, feel, and experience truly is this life divine expressing itself in ever expanding and expansive ways. The light and love and joy of this divine intelligence finds its way into expression through each and every one of us. And we let go of everything in this moment. We let go of everything that has gone before so that we may express the fullness of our own beingness. We set aside any thought of lack, of limitation, in favor of an expanded possibility and potentiality and expression of the divine idea of this world in which we live. We know this is true of each and every one of us, the communities that we live in, the state, the country, this world, and beyond. And we are grateful. Grateful for the expression of this divinity as we encounter it at every twist and turn of our experience. We know that everywhere we look, we see the face of the divine shining back at us. And we feel its presence within us now. So we let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Lee. Nice talk this morning. Very good. And I was thinking as you were wrapping up in your prayer, I was listening to your prayer, but I was also thinking, as we know that we are one, we are connected, we are whole, and we know that a sense of separation is what causes a lot of the turmoil in the world. A lack of education, a sense of poverty, living causes a lot of that conflict. So we have an opportunity in this community to step into our oneness, our knowingness, and our own prosperity awareness through circulating our good through this community and recognizing that outpouring through that front door out into the world and the effects that that has in consciousness. Just because we do it here in our community. So just a wonderful opportunity. Thank you for bringing that all together this morning. And with that, it is time for our grateful giving. And we'll start with Ernest Holmes, who says, I know that my good is increased and multiplied as it is scattered. I am both an inlet and an outlet for the passage of divine love, life, and power. Wherever I go, then I shall impart the divine blessing which I have received. And that's what we're talking about, is sharing those blessings. So I invite everyone online and in the room to join us in this practice this morning. We have lots of ways to make it convenient for you to give and circulate through the community. We can go to our website, There are links there for Zelle and PayPal, and you can set up a recurring tithe. And if you do that, you can pick up the tithe ticket in the lobby. That's what you can put in the basket because your donation's reoccurring, coming out automatically. And we, as Daniel was sharing his empty envelope this morning, we like them full. But this is our prosperity program. Soon, right, soon. Publishers Clearinghouse is coming. You tithe 10%. This proves the principle: what we focus on expands in our lives. And if you ever want to just play with that, pick a color one morning and decide you're going to see yellow cars or purple cars or pink cars or whatever it might be. And then notice all day long how many of those you see all of a sudden. And that proves the principle. What we focus on begins to show up in our lives. And the same is true with our prosperity and our money. And I love Beverly's comments when she talks about the ways that prosperity comes to her that are not cold hard cash presented necessarily, but in discounts and savings and free things and that sort of thing. And when we acknowledge those things, more of that also shows up. So I love that, Bev. Thank you for sharing that. If you're making a cash donation this morning, we do ask that you use an offering envelope from the lobby so that we can get your email address, your name, and send you a statement at the end of the year. We're 501(c). Your donation is tax deductible, and we'd like to be sure and get you that statement at the end of the year. But we need your information. And Miss Diane is our usher this morning. Thank you. Diane will be coming around. And if you are comfortable, you can hold your gift into your heart and join me for our affirmation. I am an open channel through which prosperity flows. I accept the divine flow of goodness, ideas, and substance through me now. I am grateful for my full and prosperous life, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
Please join me in blessing that which has been circulated here today, from the smiles, the hugs, the handshakes, our music, our beautiful message by Reverend Lee, and all of the abundance that has circulated to and through this community. I know that the gift and the giver are blessed, pressed down to overflowing as they confidently step into this law of circulation. And we know that in consciousness, these gifts move forward out into the world, touching hearts, opening minds. And I know that Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living is a grateful receiver for all of the abundance and the prosperity that it receives on a daily basis. We are so blessed, so grateful, and so it is. Thank you, Diane. A couple of closing announcements. Daniel is your prayer practitioner today. He will be available to you in the back if you would like to receive a 3-minute prayer. It's what practitioners do. You say what you want for your prayer, and they pray you up. It's a wonderful gift that they give. And you can also leave a written prayer request in the prayer box at the front door or 24/7 online on our website at any time. And as Daniel said, the three of us take those and pray with you also. And this is the last chance to sign up for Self Mastery. If you're thinking about it, if you've been on the fence, today's the day. Please join us. We're going to have a wonderful class. I'm really looking forward to it. And what else do we have? Got to sign up for the God's Favorite Play, Friends of the Arts. That closes next weekend. Next Sunday is the last chance to sign up for that because I want to make sure we can get tickets all sitting together. And those tickets sell quickly, and it's time. It's time to start buying tickets. And next week, bingo. How many are planning to stay for bingo? Bingo, bingo, bingo. Yay! Bingo. Yes, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. Steven's going to be our caller, so you know it's going to be a blast. Yeah. And lots of prizes. So that's coming up. Next Sunday, we're going to continue our series, Pillars of Service, with my talk, In Service to Mother Earth. In service to Mother Earth. So stay with us for that. And after service fellowship next week is the bingo party. And you can bring your own beverages if you want to. And please stay after service today. You can bring your own certain beverages if you want to. Stay after service today for cookies, coffee, and conversation. So please join us for that. Stand for our affirmation if you would. I live in peace and share my joy. I am empowered by spiritual truth. Today, I am open to limitless possibilities. And so it is.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God would have. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? Yeah. You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm